Hello, welcome back to my channel. Antoinette here. I'm going to do a VR to Nightshade Tarot. I think the lady's called Tamara, and if I've pronounced that wrong, I apologise, but I'll put a link to her video down below in comments. And I've had my arm twisted into looking into this VR and doing it. So this VR is my cozy decks, and you can see a few of them there on the desk in front of you. And I'm split with how I do this tag. So the word cozy is, to me, first things for cozy I get is colours. So colour palettes that feel cozy. Cozy here in the UK for me would be the winter, spring, autumn times of year, when it gets cold, when it's turning, when we need to light the fire, it gets a bit dark, and all the colours become sort of warmer, golden tones and things. That would be sort of cozy stuff to me, which is why you can see these ones here right in front of you. Again, with cozy, to me, also comes with aesthetic and feel. So yes, some darker kind of imagery, but oranges, I think, are predominantly one of the colours that I like to see come through stuff for cozy. But we also, I think, cozy vibes is a word that comes into play as well. And what gives cozy vibes to somebody? And of course, here in the UK, cozy spelt with an S, not a Z. Just to be, So I'm not sure if that gives it a slightly different meaning. And cozy vibes can also be the incorrect form of intimate. So somebody getting too cozy with the enemy, or, manipulating somebody by pretending to cozy up to them. Which kind of leaves you with that, what does cozy actually mean? So I think I'm going to go with the warmth and vibe feeling. And then into that, I then have the decks that would be standard traditional cozy meaning, but I guess you could then link them into that element of the Danish word hygge. So I might do a separate tag for hygge, or I might add them on to the end. Let's just see how we go for time. Without too much further ado, I have forgotten how this lady likes to be called now. This was the White Witch Oracles, then she became Athena Kana, and now I think she may have changed her name again. And some of these are now becoming mass market. This one's definitely mass market from US Games now, I think. And it is the, let me just find this is the lid, what am I doing? So the Crystal Ball Pocket Oracle. I don't use this one, I think I've explained many times, but I love the pictures. The pictures in this to me are really cozy kind of artwork. I can imagine being sat by the fire drawing these or playing with these. And that's why they're here in this category, because they give that sort of feeling of essence as a deck. So that's one. Let's put them away as we go. Two. So this is her Witch's Familiar Oracles. It does say here White Witch. This one says White Witch, and I think all the new ones say something else. And these again have got, I don't know, it's like this lovely chalky drawing feel to them. They're kind of like soft. And again, I could just, be sat by the fire, probably drawing, reading, learning about these. Which is what I probably should be doing, as it's a lovely grey rainy day today. So that's that one. And then this is her latest oracle that I got on Kickstarter. Fated, a Pocket Love Oracle, and I know I get that title wrong every time. There are walkthroughs for all of these on my channel, and again, I just love the backs. They've got that really kind of feminine, although it's very black, it's not, this is what I'm trying to explain, or trying to get across illiterately, is the feel that you get with them, the vibe, there is, like this to me, this is a really cozy scene. Although the images are quite impactful, they're done in a really, maybe it's just the feminine side that makes them feel softer, which makes that cozy essence to me. Yeah, so that's that one. So that's 3 from one creator, and of course her tarot I would also pop into this category, but I figured, you know, you don't need everything from everyone. The Maria Cilia tarot. This one again is a US Games in a tin. It's the colours and that kind of like gorgeous tint on them. This is a very sort of cozy deck to me. If it's a really cold day, this one just feels like it warms the place up with its vibes, and I love it for that. And the fact that it's not standard colours for a Marseille, it gives us something else to look at. It's just very, very attractive for my eyes. That's that one. Anything that comes in a tin I find to be in the same category. So a Halloween tarot, because this one goes around with me, gets pulled out for readings on random places, times of the year, any time of the year. I just love carrying this deck. It makes me laugh. It's got the orange vibes, so for me it's got that whole kind of warmth. It feels friendly. I don't know, the colours in this feel friendly. It's not a best friend deck, but it feels like a friendly deck. It's not what I would call a hug deck. I don't understand the term hug deck quite so much. I understand cozy better than hug. So, and then Hygge is different again. So this would be very definitely probably the first deck that sprung to mind actually when I was thinking about this category. In the same vein, we have the Zillick Tarot watercolour deck. I wasn't sure whether I should pull it out or not because I've had it out recently for another video. But the colours are just nice and warm, soft. There's nothing harsh about the deck. So it just has a gentleness to it. Again, matching in with that word. So that's why I thought this deck as well, for its gentle approach to the pictures. I could have probably pulled out a load more. Right, the Sweet Twilight Tarot. Again, this is the colour palette. That's why this one's here. You can see it's beaten up a bit on the sides. I haven't edged it, but it's had some good use, this deck. Low Scarabeo. I find the colour palette, like, you know, there's so many vibrance. When the oranges and reds come in, they are vibrant, and that's what makes it feel like something you might want to pull on a cold, dank, grey day to warm the soul. And the images do make me chuckle in here sometimes. Some of them are a bit sad, and others are just, you know, like, what on earth? What is Catwoman doing in my deck? So for that reason, I do like this one a lot. Doesn't get used as much as I'd like to, but then that's the problem with having a large collection. If you want to use all your decks and keep them rotated, it does limit the time you can spend with decks, but this would probably be one that would be, you know, high in rotation if I didn't have as many as I have. So we have the Tarot of the Sweet Twilight by Low Scarabeo. Give me that feel. Now, colour palettes, sticking with colour palettes as my theme. Here we go. We have Tromfie della Luna. This is the Aquadoxical. It's the illustrated Pips edition from Deviant Moon, illustrated by Patrick Valenza. And the Aqua used to be, the normal Paradoxical was the one that used to really like draw me. And then he brought out the Aquadoxical, and it's slightly tipped my favourites. So this has kind of taken over from the Paradoxical, bizarrely. So I do enjoy the colourway on this. It has, again, it's with the pinks and the turquoises, so it has a soft feel, a very soft vibe to it that I do enjoy. And the artwork is no less humorous, as it always is. So it's this good old humorous artwork, which I love. And I mean, you know, come on, 5 of Cups. How much more sorry can you actually feel for yourself? It just makes me chuckle. It really does. There's our 2 of Coins. And the power is in your finger. Do you remember when you used to get told off by your parents and they'd wag their finger at you? That finger is very powerful when they point it. So there's my Aquedoxical Trionfi della Luna pips. So this is fully illustrated, like the RWS versions. Oh, sorry. I love that one. Same vein. I've pulled out the Trionfi della Luna Marseille version. So non-illustrated pips. Colour palette is nice and kind of muted, a bit like the de Maria Cilia. It's just got beautiful colours, beautiful soft edges to lots of drawings in here. And so again, I feel this one's like a kind of cozy, warm deck. You know, they all emanate that sat by the fire vibe for me, which is what I like about them. Lots of nice warm browns and stones, earthy tones in that one, which is a mile away from the Aquedoxical, but they both have the same kind of thing. I mean, you know, what I didn't want to do was pull out every single version of this deck that I have, which I could have done, and I could have filled up the whole video with it. But I just thought we'd stick with those ones. Put those away. Here's an Anomaly, the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reid. Not many people like this deck because of its size and what goes on in the images, but I find these really, again, like calming, ethereal. There's an undertone of the colours here that really sort of, I don't know, to me they just are that like feeling of warmth and perhaps friendly, talking to you, maybe, I don't know, can't put my finger on it, but even the blues and greens have warmth to them and depth. They're not cold. And I know, not like I say, not many people like this deck, but I really like it. It was the deck I bought after I purchased the Deviant Moon. So they were my 2 first tarot decks for reading with. Maybe that's why I like it so much, I'm not sure. But I just find, again, it's got like lovely warm tones to it. And because I didn't learn standard meanings, I've not had an issue, I guess, with what it says and what it does. Perhaps that's the uniqueness of this deck to me then, maybe, and the way I read. I mean, look at that wheel. It's just so ornate and gorgeous. You can sit and look at it for ages. You could probably just tell stories with this, like a little picture storybook, like throw them down and tell a story and see what comes out. But what a fabulous, gentle looking magician. So yeah, that's that one. And the King of Fire with his sun around his head. Oh, that's this one. I know she was hoping to update it or have it updated, but I don't know when that's going to happen. I did message Hay House to find out, but who knows, watch that space. Kind of same veins, we have the Earthly Souls, Moon and Spirit, Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle by Terry Foss. This is the US Games one. Again, it has gorgeous colours, pictures, and there's like an intimate feeling in the pictures. You just feel like you've been invited into a scene or a world, or you're, you know, watching something from afar, and you're privileged to be able to see into it. That's sort of how it feels to me, just from an image perspective. I just find it really endearing. I don't reach this often, but I love the artwork. Absolutely love the artwork. And you can see, you know, just from looking at all those images, the colours are gorgeous. Especially when you get into these autumnal ones, and they just pop. And the delicate kind of pinks and magentas that get added, although they're vibrant, they're still homely. So yeah, and lots of moons and witchy loveliness happening in that deck. I've got lots. The fifth tarot, Amy at Mystic Rose Tarot made me do this one. It is new into my collection. It comes with this kind of soft burnt, it's not yellow, it's kind of gold edging. It's like a, I cannot describe that colour. It's coming through as yellow on screen, but it's not. It's more browny, umbery, burnt than what you're seeing. And this one feels like, I was looking at it this morning, feels like it's a kind of hug deck just from the fact that the way it's drawn. So the gentleness of the pencil watercolours, it just gives it a really soft feeling. And it kind of evoked that response in me today when I was going through the deck. So I thought I'd better pop it in. And there's just parts of the cards where I just, you know, really respect what they were doing, what they were thinking, how they got to their thoughts with the cards. Like, look at this one. So for our chariot, we've got like horses or water dragons or something here, or maybe even seahorses, heads pulling this way. And over here, we've got dolphins pulling this way. I'm not sure what the skull's there for. I need to look up for that. And then we've got obviously his wings, and he's got his anther, and he's pointing up to the sky and then traveling forwards, charging forwards. But I just loved this aspect here with the two, you know, pulling the boat forwards or steering it forwards. And then in amongst the deck itself, so you've got your red borders that tell you what element you're in. And they've got a few keywords on the bottom, and again, just really gentle drawings, like gentleness for the 4 of shells. Detachment with our 8 of shells. 6 of feathers, which would be air, is optimism. Stones, which would be earth. 4 of stones is beyond. And there's a 5th element in here. There's our fire at the back. No, we are in them, sorry. Lotus is our 5th element. 7 of lotus, the divine blueprint. So again, it's got that sort of feeling of needing to sit down, read and spend time with it. And I only do that when I'm sat near the fire usually, because summertime I'm going to be out and about enjoying the sunshine. I don't do these sorts of things. So in the winter time, in the dark months, still in the miserable springs, this is when I'm going to be cozy by the fire, and I'm going to pick up things like this to do. This one I definitely feel has cozy vibes. So Madame Lydia Wilhelmina's Tarot, Monsters of the Macabre and Autumn Scenes. Edged it in this kind of weird antique-y, browny, goldy colour. Can't remember what it is exactly. And I just love the pictures in this. Do you call this Renaissance? I'm not sure, but I definitely use this. Obviously, I'm not going to not use this for Halloween, but I do like to use it probably for that whole like autumn into winter season. Vibe-wise, it's just amazing. I used this in January this year for a 30-day challenge. I think it was January. Could be wrong. It might have been the first 30-day challenge, actually. Actually, it might have been September, October last year. So I got to know the deck quite well. But this one has those pops of the warmth in amongst the dark, mysterious images that you see on the cards. And it's that I like about this deck. That one. I haven't counted any of these. I've no idea what we're up to. I like this one a lot. Now then, just for the backs and for the stories, it is the Dark Mansion Tarot. I don't know, second edition or something, third edition. That back, bought it just for that back. This back is, to me, this is the epitome of cozy and gorgeous and divine and everything you want on the back. Look at it, it's so 3D and just takes you straight in. You've got your sun and your moon. I just can't, I love that back. I wish that they didn't change them. And again, the images, we've got this real dark imagery going on and intricate borders. I love the intricacy of these borders on here and the detail to these cards. Excuse me. You could just, again, tell stories. There's a vividness as well to the card, despite the darkness that's in them, and the way the colours are, just nice and bright and lift what's happening in the image. I have no idea how I got so many upside down cards in here. We have the King of Wands. Isn't he a grumpy man? King of Pentacles. High Priestess. But they're quirky. There's humour to these. Perhaps whole deck's upside down. Interesting. Of course. But yeah, I do love this deck. I think it's a great one. It's rose petally finished, this one. So I don't pull it out often because I'm going to admit I find it hard to shuffle. I have no idea what's going on with that. But evidently at some point I've shuffled them in two separate directions. So then we have the Dark Mansion Tarot. So cozy, good friend, easy read is the Black Line Tarot by Agni Presta Burning on Etsy. So I do recommend popping over to Etsy, looking her up and getting this one. She's UK based, so if you're UK based, guess what? Taxes and shipping. Almost non-existent on this deck for us, for once. So yeah, it is what it says, Black Line Tarot. It just reads really nicely. Perhaps I associate it with cozy because I've got it at that time of year. So I got it in the winter of 2020. Or coming into, like October time of 2020, I think, when it arrived. Just really like the simplicity of this deck. That's my first ever, that's my first ever like monochrome deck. And if you can like follow these figures through the deck as you go through, which is what I love about it as well. The images are pretty simple to follow. You don't need a guidebook for this. It doesn't come with a guidebook, or I don't think it comes with a guidebook unless there's a downloadable one. And again, apparently I have half the deck the opposite way around. Okay. Interesting. So we put that one away. And because this is the Kickstarter version, it comes with the silver sides, which I just think, and it's fantastic cardstock. It is slippery, shuffles like a dream. The gilding has held up really well, actually, considering I wear rings all the time. And I just think this is really nice, cardstock wise. One of my favourites. Absolutely one of my favourites. We then have the Tarot of Mystical Moments. How can I not mention this? Another lovely cardstock, silver gilding, and the pictures. Okay, the pictures to me are really cozy, dream world-like, mysterious, fantasy-esque, picture book, storybook, all the things I've talked about. And just, you feel like you just spend time with them. Perhaps they make you slow down a bit. Maybe that's what is good about all of these decks, because you've got so much to see and do and be and look at and read and take in and excite the senses with. But makes them fun. In the same vein, same breath, the Dream Keeper's Tarot, mass market version. So again, another just fabulous deck that does everything that, the Mystical Moments does. In fact, I got this one first. It's a bit darker in the imagery and has a completely different vibe. That's what I really like about this. They're similar but completely different, which I was always worried about. I was worried as to how similar they were going to be. I think I might have even done a walkthrough of the two together just to show how different they are. But it is another kind of, it's that like dreamscape world. It's very surreal. I've always had a love for surreal art though. Growing up, I think I used to make really surreal and macabre items as well in art lessons. Like, the bizarre. So this one, just to give you an idea of what's in here. Another really gorgeous deck. I recommend it. You don't have to have every single deck in my collection, okay? But these two, because they were so similar, I didn't get them. Couldn't make up my mind. Really couldn't make up my mind. And then I got this one. And then this one afterwards. And I didn't regret getting this one. And I don't regret having this one. So these two have very different feelings, very different imagery to me. They do the same job, of course, but yeah. I'm glad I got them as mass markets. Now, quick mentions to go with all of these. So, Mystical Moments Oracle, Tarot Nuages, the Hush Tarot, the Chicoli Oracles and Tarots. I couldn't not really mention those. And in the same vibes there, we have the Seasons of the Witch. Only these two for me. These all kind of fit into the same sort of cozy aspect. This one, because I'd use for half the year. Well, I'd use it all year round, actually. This one I would use for half of the year for sure. So we're coming up to it now. So probably May through to whenever the sun kind of like wanes off into our Indian summers that we have here in the UK. And that's when I'd stop using this one and probably move into this one. So those decks, all for that reason, I felt deserved a mention because they all have very similar aesthetic and vibe to me. Now, moving into the second half of the tag, I'm just looking around to see if there's anything else. So the second half of the tag, these are Oracle decks, so all Oracle decks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7. These ones have a very different cozy vibe to me. These are the ones I sit by the fire with and I draw. These are my muses. These are my real Hygge decks or Hygge decks. Yeah, this one, I probably don't, actually, no, I don't draw with this one, but this one, the Everyday Witch Oracle, I use for things to do. So this one, it's done on elements. They are gorgeous pictures, lovely, bright, vibrant pictures. But if I want something to do or something magical to do, or, can't think of a, I can't even think of the word, sorry. I've had a migraine for a few days and it's completely getting me. So let's just have a look at the word that I'm after. Action, activity. That's what I'm wanting. So if you're looking for an activity, these have activities in them as well. So that's why I like this one. So this is a cozy deck in a very different way, and it's an all year round deck for this one. So for activities. The Awakened Soul Oracle by Ethany has a really lovely guidebook. That's all rose petal finish, and these are matte, which thank goodness they're not rose petals, all I can say, because they're very big cards and it would make them impossible to shuffle. These have just really nice self-care words, and this may be one of those decks that you use when you just want some healing restoration to help you. It's just really simple with the single words, and then there's plenty in the guidebook to help you delve into them. So this deck is there for that reason. I don't pull it as often as I used to, actually. I think not since I've had a few new decks. That one doesn't come out to play as quickly. These two, love these. So these are by Priestess Moon. They are Rockpool Publishing decks. This is the newest into my collection. Arrived the other day, in fact. I don't know how I didn't know it had been produced, but then never mind. The guidebook for these are very special, so always use the guidebooks on these. This one, if I start with, it's kind of a medieval picture. I can see this one becoming a muse deck for me, and it's got like little hints and things on the cards. So for abundance, you might use oranges, cinnamon, clove, orange peel, cloves. And there's little like glyphs and signs and things that you might use if you wanted to create an atmosphere of abundance in your home, or you wanted to make an incense. And then those are the things that you might choose to use. Ambition, same thing. There we go. So we have date for ambition for the tree. It's the birch tree we're talking about here for ambition. So you may connect to that one. Beauty. I'm not sure who that is. Gaelic. And we have clarity. So again, we have correspondences and the pictures. So I can see myself drawing these pictures, not to copy them, but just to put them in my journal, just for something to inspire me to pull out colour and get back into my journal, really. So definitely see that one for this. And I just like the words on it. It's not going to be an everyday oracle for me, but you do have your everyday words on the bottom. But for me, I think I'd use it more for if I want something to do with integrity, then that's when I'll come look for this card and see what's on there, and then pop out the guidebook and have a read as well. So it has the trees in this one. My Priestess Moon. I'll just quickly, so let me just hang on. Let's start at the beginning. So enchanted spell oracle. So there's your keywords. And then we've got some of the trees down there. 36 botanical cards accompanying this book. Return to the medieval Celtic herbal lore. Takes us back to the magical days when herbs and plants were used to cure everything from physical to psychic ailments. Kitchen witch brings light and magic to all she does, mindfully, patiently, and carefully. So you've got the Celtic zodiac. There's the cards, the book. How to use the cards. And let's just come to one. So divination. So we have mugwort, Artemisia vulgaris. Information on the card. Keywords there. Guidance and meditation, intuition. It says divination on the bottom of the card. It says that, and then the keywords here. And then it gives us the symbolism of the card, the divination of the card, and then information about mugwort under the pillow for dream work. And here's a little, take a handful of the dried herb, sew it into a little dream pillow made from favourite fabrics, and place this herb under your couch. So it's got like practical things to do as well for working with the items in the cards and correspondences. So I'd really like that. This one I love again for drawing, the brightness, the backs. Let's just take a moment to enjoy the backs. And then we have symbols or sigils on the cards as well. You have your words, you have more kind of guidance of the words here, and then there is Latin words in this deck as well for the unicorns. And then the book gives you even further explanations of how to use and work with the symbols and the plants and the magic of these cards, which again is something I love. And yeah, the simplicity, the childish kind of, when I say childish, I don't mean it's childish, but it's got like honest innocence about them, the drawings, which just gives me that feeling to feel like I can be free to draw like this as well, because this is about my level of drawing, and because I've thought it wasn't ever good enough, I shouldn't draw. Do you know what I mean? I think you all know what I mean. So we all revert back to those stick drawings and things because we don't want to be embarrassed of our inability to produce fine art. So I've got those. Love Your Inner Goddess by Alana Fairchild. I think the book was really good with this, but I don't use it for that. I just use this again for muses and drawings. So I like to pull them out for musings and drawings. I've talked about this one as well in quite a few videos. It's an old deck, I think. It was old for me anyway. So I have that one. Ending on two of my most favourites. We do this one first. It got its own pouch. This one was so special. So here we go. It is the Garden of Lucid Daydreams. There's Madonna. I shouldn't say that, should I? There's our ladies and their tulips. Ladies watch lunch. Our babies being naughty little whatsits. Plotting. The winter flower blossoming in whole harshness. Wisdoms of the moon. You know, scary things can grow in bright places. And so on and so forth as we go through. I work with this one definitely in the summertime. We're coming into the time for this deck. So it's been months since I've worked with it, to be fair. And these decks are ones that I have to be working with daily to remember how to work with them. Does that make sense? Like just to key back into the intuitive key messages and meanings. Otherwise, just like now, cold reading, cold flipping through them. I can't quite do it. So I just need to reintroduce myself to the cards, and then away we go. And of course, Mildred's other deck. Here we go. Oracle of Black Enchantment. Love it. This is definitely a fireside deck. It's a Hygge deck. I'm just putting them all in upside down. This is my style of drawing. I don't know. When I'm drawing, because I haven't really developed my own personal style, for me personally, just for my own journals, okay, so let's get that really clear, just for my journals, for my artistic hand and eye training, I use other people's pictures to inspire me to follow the lines, so to follow the curves, to learn how to do this, to learn how to do thick and thin lines. Those are things that I do, and they are not reproduced for any other purpose other than my personal journal. And that is something that they recommend artists should do, or people who draw should do. You should get your inspirations, get lots of books, lots of magazine table books, and just copy images, learn get your eye-hand coordination trained, shapes, imaging. So I use it for that. Example of all three. I've shown this before. So here we go. Here's a whole bunch of cards made up from this deck, which I've talked about before now. Here's a bunch of ladies from the Love Your Inner Goddess deck, turned into collages. It's just collaging, Love Your Inner Goddess. That's a section of a card taken out. These are very definitely from the Enchantment Oracle. Then you've got little hum there. Yeah, so not from that deck. No, not from that deck. Here we go. Garden of Lucid Daydreams. And again, Garden of Lucid Daydreams. So this is what I call cozy, sat by the fire. I'm actually drawing. I've got my decks out. I'm pulling from books, decks, whatever, and I'm drawing images. So that to me is cozy decks rounded up in a really long video. Okay, please do join in. I'd love to see your cozy decks. And if you want to expand further and give us a Hygge deck, then please do, because the last few there are definitely expansions on that for me. So let's see what you've got. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.